Fuck you, dogs matter. Nick and Chris coming at you from Bucks Dog Training, where we are passionate about empowering individuals to reclaim their relationship with their dogs. We facilitate effective communication between dogs and their humans, enabling them to forge stronger connections and achieve their training goals. Through our efforts, we aim to create a community where everyone can experience the joys of a great life with their dogs. Hey everyone, this is Nicole and Chris coming at you. Buck you, dogs matter. Tonight we're being joined by Julie Stone out of our Philadelphia location. Hey, Jewel.
Hi.
And Becca May out of our Mantua location. Welcome, Becca.
Hey, ladies.
Hey, thank you for joining us tonight. We're so excited to have you. So tonight we're going to talk all about relationships. What does it look like? Why does it matter? Why is this so important? And as dog trainers, we build a bond and a relationship with your dogs, but you also have to build that same type of bond and relationship. And a lot of times we get questions from our owners saying, okay, we see that you're doing a great job with the dog, but how does that translate? Is the dog going to listen to us as well as it's listening to you? So I brought this panel of trainers together so that we can kind of go over what does that look like? And when you get that dog back, what do you have to do? What's involved in making sure that you have that same type of relationship that we've built with your dog, and how easy and simple it can be if you're willing to put the effort in. All right. So that's going to be our topic today. We're going to talk about a lot of things today. So get ready and let's start this conversation.
So I think you just hit the key words. Are they willing to put the effort in?
Yes.
Right. I think that's the key. And just speaking, from my own experience with the clients, it's like we put our heart into these dogs. A lot of the dogs that we have to rehab, we're not playing with puppies all day. Right. We're playing with dogs that, working with dogs that have issues, right?
Sometimes we're playing with puppies.
So for the most part,
I'm going to have some puppies coming up.
Yeah, we're playing with your puppies.
Six to be exact. We're going to have some 6 puppies.
Yay! But for the most part, we have to create a bond, form some form of connection and trust.
Yes.
In order for us to be able to get these results.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the key right there. I mean, you got to be willing to put some work in. You're not getting a robot back. And that's my favorite phrase to say. It's like, can we break a dog down to the point where your dog will literally do nothing but listen? Yes. But what's the point? Where's the joy in that? You have to create and work with your dog to create that bond. Okay. And the dog has the ability to make choices and make decisions. And we want that to happen because the dog has a personality. We're not going to break their spirit just so you can, get your dog to listen to you no matter what. If that's the type of training you want, there are plenty of trainers who will do that. But in order for you to do that, you have to break that poor dog's spirit. We're not willing to do that. We are not those type of trainers. I mean, do you guys agree?
Absolutely. Definitely agree. I think, building that leadership role is so important with the dogs. And most of the dogs we get in, they don't really have a leadership role at home. They walk all over the owner. So we really tend to build that. And then the dog actually has a lot more respect for us and then follows us and wants to be with us. It's just a little trickle down effect with that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, one of the things that, I really express and make sure that I'm very crystal clear with all of our owners when we, give the dog back, transfer the dog back to the owners. We've done our due diligence. We have trained that dog. The dog knows their stuff. Okay. We've done the hard part. We really have. All you are required to do is that maintenance, the minimal effort to put just a little bit of TLC into that relationship. Just like with anything, if you want to build that relationship and to have that type of bond, it takes a little bit of work. It takes a little bit of effort. Just like with any relationship, you can't just go in expecting that they're going to give you everything and you're not going to give them anything. That's unrealistic.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street.
I think the biggest thing is they have to reinforce it, right?
Yes.
And I tell them, just because you have to set these rules give them boundaries, have this structure with them, they're not going to love you less. They're going to respect you more.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's why they bond with it. I mean, no matter what dogs you get, whether they're aggressive or reactive or, you know, have a lot of fear or anxiety, they tend to bond with us because we give them that leadership. You know, like, we make them feel safer by, hey, you don't need to worry about it. We're in control. You know,
That's it exactly.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's a perfect analogy. And when dogs respect that, and people don't seem to understand how much dogs respect that. Toddlers too. I mean, kids respect when you provide leadership and when you provide boundaries. Kids absolutely respect that. And oh my God, I can't tell you how many times people are like, do you want my kids? Will you do the same thing for my kids that you do for my dogs? I'm like, no.
I usually time it like, hey, can I get
Yeah.
one of those collars for my kid?
Yeah. I'm like, no, you can do this. It's not that hard. Just set some boundaries, set some rules, and stick with it. That's all it takes. It's really all it takes. You know, I have friggin' 9 dogs that I own, and they behave. I mean, they have their personalities. Don't get me wrong. They have their personalities, but I love that about them. But they behave because they know what the rules are. They know what the boundaries are, and I will absolutely hold them to that. And they love and respect me. When they come up to me singing and being very, very vocal, because I got huskies, and even the ones that aren't huskies are still vocal. But they know that they're confident that they can do that. I'm not going to correct them for that because that's part of their personality. But they know when I say something and I mean it, absolutely 100%, they will comply. They will. They know that. They know what's going to happen if they don't. But I built that relationship from the very, very beginning.
I think what happens a lot with our clients is the dogs get to a point it's hard for them to manage.
Yes.
So it's just easier for them to let them out in the backyard, right? It's easier for them to just let them out, relieve themselves in the backyard, as opposed to try to take them for that walk where the dog is going to pull, right?
Right.
Pull, lunge, see another dog, start with the excessive barking, and they don't want to deal with that frustration.
Yes.
I can't emphasize enough that the walk is so important. The walk is not just about letting them out to go eliminate and bringing them back home.
Exactly.
Right?
But
It's
so many
part of
people,
the
that's what it is.
foundation to their bond, right? Think about so many distractions are outside.
Yeah, I was just gonna say impulse control all day on walks. I mean, you got bunnies, squirrels, cats, dogs, you know, people.
Yeah, and it's about, you know, on that walk, you're the one that's leading. You're the one that's giving them direction. You're the one that's saying, no, we're not going left, we're going right. Right?
Exactly.
You're not the one in charge of that. And just being able to work that engagement, eyes pop up, look up at you. Yes, good. Right? That, and they're like, oh, I'm doing good. Like even us as humans, like to be told that we're doing a good job kind of makes you feel good inside.
Yes.
Right. It makes you want to do something, like put more effort, right? Try even harder.
Oh yeah.
And dogs are the same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, even just to relax. I find that so many people, they're also maybe just over spoiling their dogs because they don't know what to do with the dog. The dog isn't good. So they just end up spoiling and spoiling and spoiling. And I start telling them, you know, you're putting the weight of the world on your dog's shoulder. You're not being a leader. Think about how much stress your dog is under because you're never telling it what to do. You're just letting it kind of randomly choose on its own. That's a lot of pressure for that dog to have at all times. How about you take that off and you start telling your dog, this is how I'd like you to be, and this is how we are going to be. And I say, how about you let your dog just be a dog? It will be happy.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
And with that, you know, they make bad choices, you know, when they're on their own. I mean, counter surfing, prey drive, you know, all those things that aren't controlled can end up in a catastrophic event where people, unfortunately, some owners don't get training till after something bad happens. Actually, a lot of the time.
Most of the time. Most of the time. Yeah.
So, you know, my favorite clients are the ones that are kind of like, well, I'm just trying to get ahead of the game. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're few and
You
far
know,
between.
yeah. Like they get a puppy, they're like, well, I just had one recently, that she was really good. They're like, she's a pretty great dog, but we just want to get ahead of it. And I'm like, I
Mhm.
respect that because you're setting that foundation for the dog rather than waiting for the dog to eat a chocolate bar off the counter or whatever, and then over in the hospital, and getting your
Exactly.
dog's stomach pumped or whatever. And
I have that one. Not just once, several times.
all right, Christine, you said that today. Yeah,
Okay.
Christine
Yeah.
has one right now.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
So
And we've all experienced it. I mean, as a trainer, okay, if you've been in this business long enough, and most of us have, if you've been in this business long enough, you're going to see pretty much anything and everything. You really will experience it all. Owners who really take the extra step are willing to put the work in, do everything necessary, to the ones that just, they like the idea of having a dog, but they don't like the reality of having a dog.
Mhm.
And there is a difference, people. There is a huge difference. You like the thought of it. You like the status maybe that it gives you because you have a certain type of dog that has a certain cachet about it. And, it's status symbol. A lot of times it's a status symbol. Oh, I've got this cute little thing and no one else has it. Or, I paid $25,000 for this dog. And yes, people, there are dogs where literally you pay that much money, if not more, for a puppy. There are designer dogs out there. Absolutely. But that's what it is for them. And they don't realize the reality that's involved, the work that's involved, the relationship building. Do you expect to go into a relationship with someone and they're just going to love you and you put nothing, zero effort into that relationship? I mean, is that a reality?
Mhm.
I don't think so. I don't know any relationship where you put zero effort in and you get 100% back.
Mhm.
The only relationship that's going to come close is that relationship with a dog, because they will love you. They will. But that doesn't mean they're going to behave. They'll love you. There's a difference between a dog loving you, a dog being well behaved or well trained, and a dog being really good relationship wise with you, where they have that respect.
Mhm.
There's a difference, people. You can have a very well trained dog, but are they going to respect you? Are they going to actually consider, doing the right thing because that's what you want? Not necessarily. They may love you, but they're still going to do their own thing because they don't respect you. You're not a leader to them. There's no guidance from you to indicate to them that they need to listen to you. So they're going to do what they want. You can still be a well-trained dog. Look at the canine dogs, the military dogs. Are they well trained? Absolutely. Yes, they are.
can't take them home though unless you're the handler.
Exactly. Just because they're well trained doesn't mean they're well mannered or that they're going to behave well in public in a home environment. These are things that people don't take into consideration a lot of times when they get a dog. There's a difference between a relationship with your dog and a well trained dog. There is a huge difference. I can obedience train any dog. What I can't do is train a human to have the type or be the type of person that's going to garner the respect of that dog. And that's what you're looking for. You want a mutual respect. You don't want just that dog to respect you. You want to be respected by that dog. And that involves a two-way street. It involves you bringing something to the table that the dog can actually respect, which means setting some boundaries, okay, setting some rules in place, and letting the dog know that you have its best interests at heart, that you are willing to put the work in to give that dog what it needs. Because ultimately, in a relationship, that's what it's about, meeting each other's needs, understanding what they are, bringing something to the table, and being able to meet each other's needs. Dogs have needs, people, and they're not going to be the same as humans. They are not. They are, at the end of the day, a dog. And if you're going to treat them like a human, you are missing the whole point of having a dog. You are.
Right.
You're missing the whole point. That's my opinion.
Mhm.
What do you guys think?
Agreed.
I know I'm
Yeah.
going on my soapbox. I like to do that every so often. I
But, you know,
preach.
I think sometimes for owners though, it's kind of at the moment type of like
Mhm.
purchase or adoption, and they're
Yeah.
not really thinking so much about the breed. Whereas, you know, some people just want more of a chill dog that's just going to hang out in the house with them,
Yeah.
and they go and get like a husky,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Or a cattle dog
You
because
know?
it looks pretty. Yeah. Or an Aussie.
Yeah.
Or
And then, or then you have people who are the opposite, who have a really, really active life,
yes.
you know, and then, you know, they don't really have a breed that's going to be more on the active side, right?
Right. Mhm.
So, you know, sometimes, you know, you have to take that into consideration
Right.
too,
Yeah.
right? Like if
Yes.
they're super active and they want to go hiking and they get a bulldog, that's not going to happen.
Well, not
Okay.
not always. There are some bulldogs who are excessively active, but
Mhm.
that's not the norm. It's definitely not the norm for that breed.
No.
They
Right.
just have trouble breathing.
Exactly.
They'll do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Christine has a case right now where she's got this bulldog that literally looked like it was on death's door after less than like a 10-minute, 15-minute walk. As she called me and video, FaceTime me, and this dog looked like it was literally about to die. I was like, what the frig? From a 10-minute walk.
Yeah.
Seriously? I
I
mean,
was
it
like,
wasn't that
Christine, you
close.
better
I
close that dog
exaggerate.
off.
I
No, yeah.
exaggerate for the purposes of this thing, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
Was it even 10 minutes, Christine? I thought it was less.
It was excessively panting. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
it's
that
just
dog was
not,
panting
it's just
for
not used to the
an hour.
activity.
Level of
Right.
activity, yeah.
Yeah. Like a 10-minute walk for it was, you know, a lot. And the
Right.
dog's not even old. It's still quite young.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's not old, and it's also she's not like overweight or anything.
No,
She
no,
seems
no.
Yeah.
great.
You know,
She's just not used to that activity.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in regards for the relationship, I think, you know, for us as trainers, we put our heart into these dogs, and the response that we get back, right? Like
Mhm.
in regards for them being obedient,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
All those type of behaviors that we have to work. And I kind of feel sometimes they see all the progress.
Yeah.
But then it's not even about them being happy, like, oh my God, my dog's amazing. It's doing downstays, it's doing come recalls from across the field of 3 acres, right?
Yeah.
Like, but they're not so much happy about that. They're more concerned of, well, my dog looks happier with you.
Yeah.
Well, because I've taken your dog out, right? I've
Mhm.
worked with your dog. I've given it the structure. You see how your dog is thriving now.
Yeah.
So to me, I always try to promote to say, hey, like at the turnovers, right? We basically show them like at the turnover, like here are the commands. This is how you're going to hold your dog accountable. These are, this is the
Mhm.
structure. Rules from
Yeah.
my house are now being turned over for you to take home, right? So that
Exactly.
way you can have the same rules that are going to
Yeah.
continue, right?
Mhm.
So if we can do this within this short amount of time, because
Right.
we are working not just the physical side, but the mental side of the dog, because they need mental stimulation too.
Yes.
You
Exactly.
know, it's
Absolutely.
not just something that sits on
Yes.
the couch while you're watching a show and this is not bonding time.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
That
here's
you're
the
just
thing,
petting your
Christine.
dog while you're watching the show.
You're meeting that dog's needs, and that's the critical piece that that I think the owners are missing. They get a dog a lot of times because they need something. There's something missing in them. There's something that they're looking for that they're looking for this dog to provide. And that's great. Trust me, I get that 100%. But guess what? That dog is a living being with needs.
Mhm.
And it's not always just about the human. You have to look at that other end of that leash and look at, okay, I'm getting what I need. What do I need to give you to get what you need?
Mhm.
What can I give you to give you what you need? It's a two-way street. You can't just take, and give nothing back. That's just not fair. It's
Well,
not.
I'm normally like, now you can walk your dog. You can walk your dog in a structured heel, keep the momentum going,
Yeah,
right? Like
absolutely.
take them out. If I said, if you can just do a meaningful, structured heel walk in your neighborhood for 10 minutes, I'd rather have that than you walk your dog for 30 minutes in the park while you're staring at your phone.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And
Always.
back to the mental stimulation, Christine,
Right.
is
said,
in my
I'll
opinion,
take those 10 minutes over that
yeah,
30.
I mean, the heel walk to me is the most tiring command for a dog because it's physical activity, but it's also a lot of mental stimulation. I mean,
Yes.
they have to be really focused. If they can't pull towards that rabbit, they can't pull towards that other dog. You know, if I'm telling you heel, you need to be next to me.
Yes.
So if they're you know, getting out of that, we're immediately correcting and getting them right back. And so again, with not just the bonding, but also that mental and physical stimulation, I actually tell owners a lot, like, you know, if you're having company over, take your dog for a 15, 20-minute heel walk before. You know, that's going to help tire them out a bit. You get that mental stimulation, you get that physical activity. And like you said, you also get that bond time, and they're going to respect that. That's probably maybe the hardest command for owners to really hold their dogs accountable for, because that dog needs to be on your left side, not pulling in any direction.
And walking a really slow pace that's not normal for most dogs.
Yes.
You know, most dogs, they have much faster pace than people. So now we're saying, don't walk as fast as you like to walk. Walk right next to me. Walk on a leash that's tied around you. Like, here's all the structure we need. And we're teaching them how to do that. That does require them to think way harder than they've ever had to think.
We're giving them a purpose. We're giving them a job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is your job right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like left side, not in front, not in back. And I don't think people realize when they see a dog doing this, they actually are working. They're actually staying within our stride to know that, oh, I can't go too far ahead because then I'll be eating. Like they know, even though it doesn't look like they're paying attention, they are.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, just like when we put our dogs in place.
Yes.
Most people will say, oh, well, my dog's just lying down. He's doing nothing. Okay.
Do you know how hard it is?
Doing something.
Yeah.
That is so much impulse control.
Do you know how hard it is to sit still?
Let alone a dog.
Ask a human or a child to sit still for more than 5 minutes. They won't be able to do it. They literally will not be able to do it. They will get bored and they will fidget. They will get up. They will get distracted. They will get their phone. They challenge them. I want you to just sit here for 5 minutes and do nothing. Literally nothing. You won't be able to do it. I can guarantee you won't be able to do it.
But I think that's something that we have to explain, because for them, they're like, my dog's just sitting there doing nothing. That nothing is something.
Exactly. Do you know how hard it is? That's our whole point. We're trying to get that dog to go from to, you know what? You're just going to sit still. That's it. That's your job. Just sit.
Boring dog is a really good dog.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, this is funny because it reminds me of when I returned Blue. You guys remember Blue, the aggressive pity I had? The next day I checked in with the owner. I'm like, hey, how's he doing? And they were like, you know, I don't know. He seems like too calm, like really tired. He's just laying on his bed. Like, not anxious or anything. I don't know. We might take him to the vet. I'm like, I don't think you need to take him to the vet. I'm like, unless he's like, sick, unless he has some symptom, you know. I'm like, that's a calm dog. Don't mistake a calm dog for a sad dog, or you know,
that there's something wrong with the dog. That's how it's supposed to be. That's what they're supposed to look like, people.
Yeah. So
they're supposed to be that way. It's amazing that people, and this is my point. People don't even know how to recognize when they see a calm dog. They think that there's something wrong with it. They think the dog is sick. This is their first thought. Let's take it to the vet because obviously there's something wrong with this dog. Like, really?
No, he's just not trying to bite people anymore.
Yeah, that's what's happening right now. Is people think that the unstable behavior is normal, and that when they actually see a stable dog, they're like, "Oh my God, I'm going to panic now because there's something wrong with this dog." I mean, that's not normal. You cannot have a dog just sit there. What? I mean, really? That's not normal. There's something wrong. He's sick. Let's take him to the vet. Let's give him some drugs because he's got to be sick.
Oh yeah, and the anxiety meds. I mean, geez, talk about drugs.
Or they're like, it looks bored.
Good.
My dog is bored.
Good.
That's projecting. That's projecting.
When it's chewing up everything in your house.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want it to be bored, and then I want it to still sit there. How many humans can say they can do that? They can't. We are so bombarded with distractions and stimuli that people nowadays do not even know how to handle being bored. They don't know how. I remember as a kid, we used to go on car rides, freaking 5-6 hour long car rides. We didn't have a phone. We didn't have an iPad. We didn't have a little screen that was showing a movie. We had to make up our own shit. Oh, yeah. We would talk. We would play games, or we would sleep. And then if we got really bored, we might kick the chair in front of us, and then we get yelled at. How many times would you get yelled at? Stop kicking.
We used to make faces at the cars out the window.
Are we there yet? Are we there? Shut up. Okay. I guess we're not there yet. But these are the things that we grew up with. We knew how to be bored. We were annoying, but we knew how to be bored. People and dogs today don't know how to be bored and how to occupy themselves and calm their brain. They have no concept at all. Yeah. And so when I hear people say, oh, they look bored, or they look sad, or they look this, I'm like, good. I'd rather that than they bite somebody, or they, or chewing up their entire, your entire house, or they're eating something toxic that you now have to rush them to, an emergency vet so that they can pump their stomach, or God forbid, do surgery. I'd rather they be bored. I welcome that. I embrace it. Yeah. Embrace the boredom, people.
I know I do. With my 3 dogs, I love it.
That's going to be our new coin phrase. Embrace the boredom.
Yeah. My dogs slept very well when they came home today after going to cross training, and they weren't really part of cross training, but they had to go in a car, be good in a car, go into a building, be around a lot of dogs, and just be
stay in place,
somewhat calm, stay in place.
Yes. There's a lot of crazy dogs running around.
Go back into place, get back in a car, drive back to Philly, and then they both took a huge nap.
Yeah.
And there wasn't that much physical exercise today. It was all mental, and they were completely wiped out.
Yeah, that's the hardest. I always tell people, listen, have you ever taken like a college level course and you just, you're not used to studying or doing something new, and it taxes your brain? It makes you think. Now, how tired are you after you do that? Even just, half an hour to an hour.
Oh, yeah.
How tired are you? You're exhausted.
I compare it to people with like desk jobs, when you work 9 to 5 at a desk job, even though you're not moving, you're exhausted after.
Yeah, because you're using your mental capacity. Yeah. When you use your brain, that is more taxing than doing like 2 or 3 hours of exercise, physical activity. It is actually more taxing and tiring.
Right.
To exercise your brain, because that's what it is. You're exercising your brain. You are. And using that mental muscle is more tiring and taxing and will exhaust you and a dog more than physical activity. Because you get used to physical activity and you can get used to using your, your mental powers, but you get so used to doing the physical activity. That's why a lot of times I'll tell people, just like an athlete, the more you train, the more you have to train, because it takes that much longer for you to get tired. Same thing with a dog. The more you run and exercise that dog, you're only building up its endurance. So now instead of 1 hour of exercise, you now have to do an hour and a half. Now you have to do 2 hours. Now you have to do 3 hours to get that dog tired. What are you doing to yourself? You're setting yourself up for failure. Now, the dog needs exercise, absolutely. But does it need 3 to 5 hours of exercise? No. You've built that in by the way you're, working that dog. You've basically guaranteed that it's going to need 3 to 5 hours for it to get tired, because you built up that endurance. Think about what you're doing, people. Think it through.
Yeah, I've told people, and you've all heard this, dogs using their nose and sniffing for 10 minutes is pretty similar to about an hour walk. I don't know if that would really be the hour heel walk, but being outside, walking around, doing their thing, that's why I love doing different sniffing games with the dogs, because on a rainy day, we can't always do as much outside, but we can do some great mental exercises with the dogs, and they are also tired afterwards. And it's so rewarding to watch them go through it, trying to figure out like, how am I going to get this treat out of this thing that she's made? You know, I love watching that. And I just make it out of stuff in the house. You don't have to spend any money. Just have some treats and be creative and watch your dog and watch them figure out a puzzle.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And Julie, you have to make a video of that for us so that we can share it with our listeners.
Okay. Yeah.
Julie, you're just
Show
talking
that at
about
an
products.
event. That was pretty cool. So
I'm
We're just talking about making our products, Julie. Come on.
that's right.
Well, I'm
Develop
all
your own
about, like,
puzzle. I need a
how
good
can we
one.
make things with what we have in the house and not keep having to buy everything, because y'all know that when you go online, you can buy, they sell everything, and a lot of it's just garbage.
Right.
So we need a DIY video then.
DIY.
Yes.
We'll do some DIY. That's coming up. That's coming up next soon. And show you
Awesome.
how it works. It's really, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Julie, for anyone who doesn't know her, and the more you listen, you will get to know her. She is fantastic at taking like literally nothing and turning it into gold. I mean, she just how inventive and creative she is just, it's just amazing.
Wow.
It really is amazing.
The dogs deserve it.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm always trying to figure out how to get them. It's not just not like make them happy, but I want to reward them, and I want to make them work for that reward. I'm not just going to be like, oh, I was gone for a while. I feel so bad. Here's a whole bunch of treats because I feel guilty. Right. I want to say, hey, here's a treat. Do you know how to get it out of this box? Yeah. See if you can do it.
Absolutely.
Like, game on. Who can get it out fastest?
Yeah, exactly. Challenge their brain. Yeah. Dogs can be incredibly smart. I mean, I have Huskies for a reason. I love how smart they are. I love the fact that they're problem solvers. I love that. You give them a problem, they will figure it out. You give them long enough, they'll figure it out and then come up with, other things that you don't want them to figure out.
Yeah.
I have a dog who can open and close doors and has locked me out literally at least 3 times. Locked me out of my house 3 times.
My pitty's done that. My pitty's done that so many times.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, I know you're upset with me, but really? You have to lock me out of the house? Thanks a lot. But that's how intelligent they can be. And you can train them to do some really incredible things. I mean, look at what some of the service dogs do. It's amazing what they can do and what they're willing to do. All they're asking for is just a little bit of effort on your part to build that relationship and that bond. Very minimal. Dogs are not very needy. In the relationship game, they're going to be the least needy as far as what they need versus what they're willing to give. You can give them so little and they're willing to give you so much. Just give them that little bit. All they're really looking for is some guidance, some leadership, and someone they can respect. That's really all they're looking for.
No.
If you can give them that, you'd be amazed at what you can get back. Absolutely amazed at what they will do for you, what they are dying to do for you. Just give them that little bit. That's really all we're asking. That's really all they're asking. And they have such an incredible amount of love to give and respect. But
you're going to have the best dog for it and the best relationship for it. You know?
The bond, it's that bond is going to get created. That's how you're going to create that bond. So when the dog goes home, you're going to continue that behavior modification and you're going to have a bigger bond because the dog loved you to start with.
Right. But now they respect you.
Right.
Yeah. And that's,
and I think we can all speak for that. I mean, we're all dog owners here. We're not just trainers. We have our own.
Yes.
And
some of them have too many.
We all have.
Like 9 and soon to be what? 15.
15.
Jeez. I know. I have an addiction, people. I have an addiction.
And then Nicole gets us all in trouble because then we all want them too. And
yes. You can't resist. They're just so cute. And they're so well behaved.
It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time.
I'm gonna be in trouble with my fiance,
you know what? He knew what he was getting into. He knew. Look.
We have 3 right now. Ed would kill me too. Ed, are you listening? No.
You know what?
It doesn't matter.
He knew
it doesn't matter. You bring the dog home. You already got the ring. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Okay.
No,
You already got the ring. It don't matter at this point.
Yeah,
Okay?
dude, you knew what you were getting into.
yeah, man. When Trini,
Yeah.
I think I might wait for Trini though. I want Trini's puppies, I think.
Oh yeah, Trini
Oh.
I don't
and
know.
Indy.
Indy,
Oof.
yeah.
Trini and Indy, man, that's gonna be a pairing.
Yeah.
I want a high drive. I want a
Well,
high
let
drive.
have
baby.
high
let
drive.
people know what the breed is. That's the
So,
Malinois Shepherd.
For people who don't know, I have a half German Shepherd, half Malinois, Belgian Malinois pup that I bred specifically because I wanted to take some of the high drive from the Malinois and kind of tone it down a little bit and get a little bit more of the stability from the German Shepherd, but kind of take away a little bit of that neuroticism that they're really known for. And so I ended up with really good puppies. I mean, half of them actually turned out to be service dogs, and that was my intent. And Indy is phenomenal. I love this boy. Love him, love him, love him. Very, very sweet. Although every day he's starting to get a little bit more like his mama with a high drive. So that I'm like, dude, I'm giving you a job because you're driving me nuts. But he's still not nearly as bad as his mom. And then Trinity is a half Dutch Shepherd, half German Shepherd. And she's got some drive to her too. She's becoming very ball driven, very hyper focused on, wanting to do something. She needs a job. But she's very sweet, very fantastic, and actually fairly submissive, believe it or not. But very, very intelligent. So, we've been working with her, and the two of them are already starting to get bonded, believe it or not, in the end.
Aw.
And they seem to kind of know that they're
What's gonna happen one day? They
Yeah.
even get
well,
down
and that
soon?
they're a little bit different than all the other dogs.
They're not Huskies.
They're not Huskies.
Yeah,
but-
right. They're like, we're the odd ones out here.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're hanging together and they're chilling next to each other, and it's so cute. Like they'll kiss each other, they'll lay next to each other. I'm like, all right, the bond's starting to form.
Yeah.
So those puppies will be fantastic, but we got a year to wait on those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I gotta time this right. I'll be married by then, so
Exactly.
it'll be a little easier.
Yeah. It's okay, dude. You knew this is what I was gonna do. I need another demo dog.
That'll be number 5, okay? Because
Uh-huh.
once you see all these puppies, it's so hard to say no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cayenne's pups are gonna be gorgeous. I'm
Ugh.
wondering if I'm gonna get a white one, honestly. Because not Nico. Oh my god. Nico's the father of Snow. But Snow's an all white husky with blue eyes. So it'll be interesting to see if any of those puppies come out white.
Come out with his shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a handsome boy.
Yeah, he sure is. He sure is.
Yeah.
So anyway, we want to just kind of wrap this up, make sure we answer any questions that are out there. So everyone, if you do have any questions about, what does it look like? What do you need to do to have the type of relationship where you have that respect, where you have that bond, reach out to us. We're accessible. You can, write a comment down below. You can subscribe to us. You can DM us. We're all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. I even have a LinkedIn account. So there's multiple ways that you can reach us. If you have any questions, just reach out. We are more than willing to talk to you and, have that conversation and work with you on what do you really need to do to build that bond and get that trust from your dog and have the absolute best relationship you can. Because it's truly an amazing experience when you can have that bond, when you know intrinsically and unequivocally that dog and you are bonded like 2 peas in a pod. And there's really nothing like it. There's just nothing like having that
there's not.
close-knit
So much
bond with your
better.
dog.
Yeah.
And we all know what it's like. We all have our favorites, of course, but we all have that relationship with dogs that we own, and we build that bond with the dogs that come in, that train with us.
Mhm.
So we know what it takes, and we know how to engineer that, and we know how to help people get that same level with their own dogs. And that's really what we want to do is we want you to experience that. We want you to know what that feels like because it's an incredible feeling.
Yeah. And I always say like the turnovers are like a bittersweet moment,
Yeah.
right? Because I
Oh,
never
yeah.
say goodbye, right?
Yeah.
Because I think I just lose it. Okay.
Mhm.
I always
Right.
say I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'll always encourage the refreshers. Okay.
Yeah.
But I always say, I'll see you soon. Right. Because you built the bond with them. And I always tell myself, because it's so rewarding, because now this dog is going to go home and have best life ever.
Exactly.
Right. And that's why I do, we do what we do for that reason.
Blood, sweat, and tears, baby. Blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally put everything we have into these dogs. And so when we let them go, there have been times I cried when I had to let a dog go, because I'm like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Because
we bond with them,
to these dogs.
Yeah, they don't just bond with us, we bond with them, and we
they're
treat
living
them like
with
one of
us.
our own. Yeah.
Some of them have slept with me in bed. It's been rare, but I've actually had a few board and trains come and sleep in bed with me. Sometimes I don't even let my own dog sleep in bed with me. They rotate. With 9 dogs, you have to rotate. But yeah. And, so yeah, definitely you build this incredible relationship with these dogs. And gosh, I can't even tell you how many dogs I've trained. It's been probably at least a few hundred at this point, and I still remember, I'm sorry, people, for all the clients out there, I'm just going to be really blunt and honest here. I will remember your dog better than I will remember you. And I am really sorry about that. But I'm just being honest.
It makes sense though. We spend 2 to 4 weeks with the dog and like a few hours with the human at most.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the reality. I will remember your dog better than I will remember you. Unless you do something that's really memorable. Then I may remember you more than your dog. But 9 out of 10 times, I'm going to remember your dog. I'll remember the dog's name. I remember what it looks like. I remember, some highlights about that dog. But yeah, I'm going to remember your dog more than I'm going to remember you. So I'm just putting it out there, people. That's, and most trainers will say that, honestly. I think most trainers, if they're honest, they will say that. Because they spend so much time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no offense, but that's absolutely true. Again,
well, it's more like for me, I'll get away with it. I'll be like, "Oh, Darcy's mom."
Yeah, exactly.
I'll say something like that, right? At least that way. Oh, yeah, Darcy's mom. How you doing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You gotta remember your name, so I'm just gonna call you by your dog's relationship.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean it happens.
Yeah.
I remember a dog's name before I remember a human's name, because that's just how my brain works.
That's how we work with dogs, more so dogs than the human.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So anyone have any last comments before we wrap things up real quick here? No. All right, cool. I'm just glad that you guys were able to join us. Thank you so much. We really appreciate and enjoy having that interaction with you on this podcast. For all our listeners out there, please, subscribe if you like what you are hearing and you want to hear, more topics. You can always just reach out to us. Let us know what topics you want to hear. We are more than welcome to hear what you want to hear, because we want to make it relevant for you. Okay. This is what this podcast is all about. We're trying to be informative, a little entertaining. We entertain ourselves, if nothing else. So we do a lot of laughing. But we want to, be informative. We want to have a platform where you actually get some good information. It's not just entertainment, although we do provide that as well, I hope. But we want it to be informative, and we do really love and care about dogs, and we want to make sure that shines through as well. So if you have a topic and there's something that you just really want to learn more about or know something, just text us, private message us, just reach out. We have our numbers on their websites. You can always reach us. There's multiple ways that you can, shout out to us. So just give us a call, text us, write us, subscribe, like, follow. You know the drill, people. I'm sure you've heard it a million times. So till next week, thank you for joining, and we will see you then. Take care, everyone. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.